Interesting news this morning. Amazon has decided to buy Whole Foods. Now, I think this is a good idea. Whole Foods, at least I live in Silicon Valley, so everyone has delivery. Whole Foods currently has delivery. And Amazon has been building their own delivery platforms in a couple different variations with Prime Now and Prime Fresh or whatever it's called. So this will be interesting. We will see Amazon delivering groceries en masse, I am sure. But that's not what I want to talk about. I had an idea as immediately as I heard this news that they've spent this money on Whole Foods. So at this point, Amazon has reached virtually complete horizontal integration. So they have the market on selling things on the internet across every product just about that you could think of. There are a few exceptions: cars, maybe furniture, things that are really large or expensive, maybe housing. Those were probably the only exceptions. Um, but what happens when you reach horizontal integration? You have complete control over the distribution of every product known to man, and you can deliver a product faster and cheaper and better than every other place on the planet, and across every other product. What is the next logical step? So if we reach back to our history books and we pull up the biography of J.D. Rockefeller, what we find is once you have a reasonable level of horizontal integration, the next logical step is vertical integration. So if I have complete control over the processing of oil, Standard Oil back in the day, I then can use that strength to then buy all of the oil fields, and then I control all the oil fields. I can buy one cheap, and then if I want to buy a competitor to my oil field, well, I just stop buying their oil because without me you can't distribute it. So if I can keep you from distributing it, I can make you go out of business. I can then force you to sell at a discount. So it's very easy once you have control over distribution to then control everyone below, everything that leads up to distribution. I can control that. So the next logical step, if we got all this money, we control every market. The next logical step is I start buying those suppliers. If I can slowly integrate the rest of my chain as I go down, from distributors to, very large chain. In most markets, there's a large company that controls a big part of the market in various industries. So you've got a company that controls most of the organic food produced in the United States. You've got a company that controls most of the tires. There's 2 or 3 tire companies. Anything that you can think of, we have these companies that control a market. Now, I don't know that Amazon will do this, but this is just speculation. But the idea is that the next logical step would allow me to then vertically integrate the rest of the market. And if you have something as large as Amazon, and you're as good as Amazon, we are really good at supply chain management. We are really good at dialing in numbers, which is exactly what Rockefeller did. He just shaved every single little penny he could until he could beat everyone by this huge margin. And if you want to read about Rockefeller, pick up Cherno's book on Rockefeller. But that begs the question: what if Amazon begins vertical integration? They've started on the top end, so they've started. We control the sales, so then maybe we need to control delivery. So they've started Prime Now, which then gives them the ability to deliver in an hour. So with Prime Now, you don't need UPS, you don't need the Postal Service. and then you can control both the quality and the price of delivery. And you can make something that UPS can't deliver in an hour, but Amazon can. So we go the other direction. What happens on the bottom before sales? That becomes manufacturing, raw materials, etc. As you go down the line, were Amazon to do that, they could conceivably control every aspect of every product that you buy. And they will do a better job than everyone else because, quite frankly, most companies aren't very good. Uh, they've failed to integrate, any kind of analytics and data. They're run by hand for the most part. If you go to any company in the United States, it's a mess. And that's why Amazon has beat everyone, because they do a good job. So what happens when they decide to do this? Amazon makes more money than anything on the planet. They can do what Rockefeller did, but they can do it not just for oil in his case, but for everything that sits in your house. They can make that better, faster, cheaper, and they could buy and potentially own every piece of that process, from the sweatshop that makes your product to the raw materials that product is made from, to the distribution and sales of that product, to the delivery to your actual house, to the installation. With that in mind, I don't know if Amazon is overvalued or speculating on what their actual performance is going to be is tough to guess, but their potential is greater than anything we've seen in history. So, just a thought. If you'd like to share it with your friends, thanks.